am a Vietnam vet from 1965 to later in '69. I was a helicopter pilot and did search and rescue. When I got out of the service, I became a law enforcement officer because it seemed to help me deal with the situations I had when I was in the service. Unfortunately, as the time went on and I physically couldn't do it anymore, I had to stop being a police officer, and I noticed that I was having trouble dealing with just regular things. And I asked my doctors at the VA, and they suggested that I should probably get a service dog because he could help me out with some of my problems, such as my PTSD, my medical problems, and trying to live a normal life. My dog does for me. He reminds me to take my medication, and people wonder how that works. And a lot of times, if you feed your dog at the same time that you get your medication, it's a win-win for both. They get their meals, and I get my medication. When I'm depressed and I feel down, my dog will run over and get it in my lap and lay his head against my shoulder and just stay there until I calm down. They say that he can feel the beating of my heart at a rapid rate, and when it slows down, he gets down. I used to get the sweats at night awful bad from memory problems, and when he realizes I have the sweats or I'm thrashing around, he'll come up and lick my face and wake me up and stay there until I feel that I'm better and he feels that I'm better. I'm very fortunate that my wife can have him when I'm in the hospital and places like that overnight, and he can stay with her. He has brought me to the hospital 4 different times for life and death situations. I don't know what I would do today without my service dog, Mac. Come here, Mac. And he brings such security and such love to me, and he doesn't ask anything of me but just give him attention. I recommend that every possible vet, if he needs it, get a service dog, because what he's done for me, he can do wonders for others. I know he even helps my wife now and then. They kind of take on the problems of the family, and she has medical problems and he monitors her. So he's working 24/7, and we just love him to death. And I know I couldn't live without him.
When Ken first got Mac, or before he got Mac, I felt like I had kind of lost my husband. He wasn't the same man that I had married. His PTSD had gotten worse. His anxiety had gotten worse. He wouldn't go into a store with me. He didn't like to go out to eat. He didn't like to go to the movies, didn't like to do anything. Once Mac came into our lives, that changed. We now travel and do some other things because Mac is there to help him with his PTSD, his anxiety. I don't worry as much at night anymore when he dreams because I know Mac is there to wake him. I don't have to nag him to take his medication because Mac does it for me. Mac has been the biggest blessing in our lives, and Mac has given me back my husband and my best friend and my soulmate.
When the dog was recommended, when I was recommended to get a dog, I started asking other vets who had dogs where they got theirs, because I was looking for the ones that had well-behaved, mannered dogs. And I happened to run across an individual who had a Patriot Assistance dog, and after monitoring him, I decided that's where I would like to try and get my dog. So the process started, and I mailed in all the requirements and the psychiatrist's recommendation and other doctors. And approximately 6 to 8 months later, I heard from them, and they gave me an interview to come to PADS to hopefully get a service dog. The class was a week long. It was teaching me more than teaching the dog, and there was a lot of important things I learned.